Hey everybody, this is Marian here and welcome back to my channel. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to make a video about today, and I have this notebook where I've been brainstorming ideas, and one of the ideas was about a year ago I wrote a blog post about my favorite bookish hot takes. So these are all of my spicy or unpopular opinions about books and reading, and I published that on my blog, and recently it's been getting a lot of traffic again. So I thought that maybe now, like a year or so later, I would do a little reaction where I read out my hot takes and talked about whether I still agreed with them or not. So the blog post is called My Bookish Hot Takes and Controversial Opinions. And this was actually published on January 26th of 2025. So it was actually about a year and a half ago. But I read over these earlier to kind of prep myself and think about my answers, and these are definitely some spicy ones. So I'm just going to start at the beginning, and if you have any of your own opinions that you want to share, let me know in the comment section down below. Okay, so I'm not going to read the whole blog post, I'm just going to read the headings here. But my first hot take is that a lot of books that go viral on Book Talk are not actually good. And I know that good is subjective, it's all about what you're interested in. That's how you form your opinion on a book. But in my opinion, I think that a lot of the books that go viral on Book Talk are not good. I think that I have given a few of them a chance. I know that I've read a lot of Frida McFadden books because they've gone viral. I know that there's some dark romance that I've read because they've gone viral, and I just don't think they're good. They're not well written, they're not well plotted. Just my opinion. If you like them, perfectly fine. Everybody likes different things. But yeah, don't even get me started on Frida McFadden because I just can't. I won't do it. I won't. My second opinion is that audiobooks count as reading. I think this is a popular thing for people to have opinions on because you're either one way or the other. And I know that my fiance, for instance, he does not consider audiobooks reading because you're not actually, reading with your eyes. But I do consider audiobooks reading because to me, reading is just, in taking a book. And I listen to a lot of audiobooks when I'm doing other things, which gives me the chance to be productive around my house. I like to listen to stories while I exercise because sometimes I'm not in the mood to exercise and the story just sucks me in. Anything to distract me on the elliptical machine is a good thing. Next opinion might be a spicy one. I wrote romanticy. I don't get it. And I think this is because at the time I was reading a lot of news articles and reviews and Bookstagram posts about A Court of Thorn and Roses and Fourth Wing and other romanticy series that were super popular at the time. And I know for a fact that I checked out A Court of Thorns and Roses from the library. I think I checked it out on the Libby app. And I had really good intentions about reading it, but I just couldn't get into it. And part of that could be the time I was trying to read it. It just might not have been the right time. But generally, fantasy books are harder for me to read just because I'm so used to realistic fiction that I have trouble with the names of the towns and just all the weird words. So I think this is probably an unpopular take. If you have any opinions on romanticy, definitely let me know in the comments. And if you have any recommendations or good starter books, please let me know. I am still trying to finish the Fourth Wing series. I have books 2 and 3 to finish still, so I'm hoping to add those to my TBR list for 2027. My next opinion is that the font size on trade paperbacks is way too small. If I'm reading a cozy mystery or a romance novel that's published in trade paperback format, I'm gonna get the Kindle version because I like to make the font size bigger. That's just my opinion. I think when I was younger, it didn't really matter as much, but I'm in my mid-30s now, so I like to have a comfortable font size. Who's with me? Anyone? Anyone? My next opinion is dark romance. I don't get it. I think I've tried so many different dark romance books, and the one exception I'll make is I do like some Penelope Douglas books, but otherwise, dark romance, I don't get it. I did read Lights Out by Navessa Allen, and while it was funny to read, and I did enjoy talking about it with my friends afterwards, I just, I don't know, stalker romances, bully romances, romances with kidnappers and mafia, just not for me. I prefer a nice contemporary romance set in a small town. I think that's really more my speed. So if you like dark romance, more power to you, but I don't like it. I don't get it. That's just me. My next opinion is an interesting one, and I think it shows that I'm a little bit stuck in the past, but book blogs will always be better than book talk or bookstagram. Yeah, I think that I was just feeling nostalgic when I wrote this blog post. I think I was having all the nostalgia for like when I was in college, I guess. I was really into book blogging. I had a blogger account and I would participate in all the weekly memes every week, like waiting on Wednesday. What's in my mailbox Sunday? I think that was one, wasn't it? Top 10 Tuesday by the Broke and the Bookish. I just loved participating in all that stuff, so I think I was feeling especially nostalgic when I wrote this post. And I do like Bookstagram. I don't like Book Talk. I don't have a TikTok account anymore. I think I deleted it. But I do like reels and stuff. I like the carousels now that those kind of posts are becoming more popular on Instagram again. So do with that what you will. Next opinion is that Colleen Hoover books have always been questionable. And I think that I wrote this post around the time that the It Ends With Us movie was having all of its drama. And that's definitely it's a questionable book because it covers such a serious topic. And there's also a lot of like flippant details throughout the book where it's kind of contrasting. It's like having something serious about abuse. And then there's all this goofy stuff about like Ellen DeGeneres and like, I don't know. I haven't even seen the movie. I'm just going off of the book, which I listened to the audiobook of. But if you look back at all of Colleen Hoover's books, they've all been kind of questionable in a way, so I stand by this opinion. I remember the first book that I read by her was back when she was a self published author. I read Slammed, which was about a high school girl who falls in love with her English teacher. But it's okay because he's 21 and in college still. He's like a student teacher, but then he gets like a real job. And as a young adult, I kind of like ate that book up and I was like, oh man, this is so romantic. He's a teacher who takes her to a bar and does slam poetry. But as an adult, I'm kind of like, ugh, gives me the ick. So there's a lot of her books that are like that, where if you kind of like look back at the plot lines, I don't know, questionable in my opinion. Alright, so this next one is another romanticy opinion in which I said, Fourth Wing is not a bad book. And I know, like, Fourth Wing is so popular, and I think it should be, but there's also a lot of haters out there. I've seen a lot of, like, reviews online where people are like, oh, this makes no sense, like, the magic structure is bad. And everybody's entitled to that opinion, but I thought that as a romanticy beginner, I thought it was a very enjoyable book. The storyline just pulled me in. I like the characters. The school, I love a school setting where like the person is training for something. I think that's why I liked Harry Potter so much back in the day. So that just really worked for me. Ooh, this one's good. I don't prefer physical books over ebooks. In fact, I think I actually prefer ebooks over physical books. And that's because a lot of the times when I'm doing my reading, I'm laying in bed at the end of the day, and it's just so much easier to flip pages and to kind of like lay on my side and read. Whereas if you have like a hardback or something, it's very difficult to do that. Hardbacks are more of like sitting in a chair and reading, in my opinion. So yeah, I think I do prefer my Kindle over physical books. And my last opinion here, I think it came about because I read so much contemporary romance, but I said, I'm so tired of illustrated book covers. And I think that's a fair point because illustrated covers have become such a big thing today in contemporary fiction. However, not all illustrated book covers are created equal. For instance, I think that there's a lot of ones that are really well done by artists, and then there's also ones where it's like an outline of a person, but they have like no facial features or anything. And it's like that just seems lazy in my opinion. I think you see a lot of this in self-published romance novels, and I think it's because people are just designing their own covers and like buying stock art online, but I like to see a face. I want to see some emotion in the characters. So looking back on this list, I guess I do actually stand by a lot of my opinions. There's certain things that I may have loosened up on a little bit, but for the most part, I think my opinions are valid. And of course I do, they're my opinions. But yeah, thanks for checking out this video today. I hope that you enjoyed it or found it interesting, and I'd love to hear about your spicy opinions in the comment section down below. Do you have a hot take about reading or books? Definitely let us know so that we can discuss. Thanks again for checking out this video. Please consider subscribing for more cozy and bookish content. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. And definitely check out my blog. I will leave a link to my book blog in the comments section or in the video description. But I have lots of new reviews coming up soon, and a lot of them are about cozy fall reads. So if you're looking for something to add to your TBR list, definitely consider checking it out. Okay, that is all for today, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!